So here we are, we arrived, and the move is finally done. So I can continue making videos again. But the reason why I'm here is because my office is full of stuff, full of boxes. We are living out of boxes. We are slowly organizing the house, but you definitely don't want to see the office right now. It's horrible. It's really, really messy, and it's very echoey. So this might be what you see for this video, maybe the next one, until we actually get things organized. But I thought I would keep going because I missed you guys, I missed YouTube, and I missed, recording these videos for all of you. So without further ado, in this video, I'd like to talk about uncertainty. So uncertainty is something that I've been thinking about a lot these last few weeks while I was away, because all of the things that we're going through right now when it comes to moving to a new house, moving to a new town, moving to a new country from Scotland to England, it causes a lot of anxiousness and uncertainty about a bunch of different things. So professionally and also personally, there's a lot of things that I can share with you guys that hopefully helps you in your journey, especially if you're going through certain things like I am right now. Hopefully helps you in your journey, because especially when it comes to the professional side of things, where you have to keep moving in order to fulfill your duties, in order to continue to earn money, in order to continue to have fun. Doing all that with uncertainty is incredibly hard. So let's talk about it in this video. So yeah, welcome to another video. The move is now officially done, and I couldn't be happier to actually finally be done with it, because it's been so stressful. People talk about, the legalities of buying and selling a house and how stressful it is, and how moving house is one of the more stressful things that you can do. Or actually buying a house is one of the most stressful things that you can do. And 100% has been true for this house. It's been incredibly stressful. We only got the house last minute, but now that we're here, it feels very much like we can start calming down, start kind of like getting the stress to kind of like, leave the body a little bit. And with those things, it comes a lot of resolutions, a lot of things that you would like to do different, a lot of things that you would like to change. And that is definitely what I'm here to talk to you guys about, because as we're going through it, I found out that uncertainty is the word of the day, or the word of the month, I should say. There's nothing that actually causes more anxiety and more uncertainty than moving. And I can see it through the eyes of my daughters for the most part, because being so small and actually going through a big move like this is incredibly stressing for them, losing their friends, having to make new ones, and having to adapt. So as an adult, you normally can take that better, but as a child, it's really, really complicated. So having to do this move at this time, and it took a lot of thought, it took a lot of uncertainty to actually kind of get to this place. But now that we're here, it feels much better. And there is a part of the family and a part of the personal, absolutely. But what I'm here to talk to you guys about, for the most part, is to talk to you guys about the professional side of things, because I am now a professional that needs to earn a living. I have my own company, I have clients, and that work shouldn't and cannot stop. And the reason why is because it's that work that pays the house. Now, when you work for yourself and you have your own company, you cannot actually have normally days off, paid sick leave, or holidays, all of those things that normally on a full-time job are given. You don't have those things. Those things are incredibly unknown, and it's things that you try not to do. And when they happen, it causes you like, that feeling of being anxious for the most part. And I try not to do it, even though I should do it more often. So when these things happen and a lot of weeks go past and you haven't done work for a lot of weeks, obviously you start to reconsider, where is the money coming from? Okay, is this something that I can sustain for a long time? How is this year going to be, and all that stuff. On top of all that, you also have what's going on with the industry right now, in the games industry, right? I mean, this is affecting everybody, including myself, and I found myself asking a lot of times, like, how does this affect me? What's going to be the future? All of those things that actually makes you slightly anxious once again, and gives you uncertainty towards the future. Because if people that have full-time jobs are actually losing their jobs, because certain studios are getting closed, because certain companies that are absolutely massive like Sony and Microsoft are actually closing studios left, right, and center. For the person that is working for themselves, like myself, that is actually relying on clients to actually get to work, we are normally the ones that are most disposable, because when you have a company that is actually have like, full-time employees, the priority is 100% to those employees, and anything that is peripheral, such as contractors, such as myself, that is basically what can be disposed of fast, right? The quickest, I should say. So another thing that causes me a lot of stress personally as well, just to add to the whole negativity, is working off a new office. My office now is slightly smaller than what it used to be, and also I actually do well by staying in the same place creatively, and knowing that everything is in a certain place, and knowing that I can actually go to a place and record videos, go to another place and do some work on my computer and all these other things. And knowing where everything is, it causes me a lot of peace and allows me to kind of like, be productive. When those things are disrupted like now, it means that I have to think in a different way. And this is why just making this video right now is already complicated, because I feel like my train of thought is slightly different than if I was in front of the camera like I used to be, because I'm comfortable with that. This is uncomfortable to me. Also, it's so hot inside this car. Oh my God. So you can start to see the complications and what's going on in my mind at this point in time. However, we need to keep going. We need to keep on doing this work. We need to kind of like keep on trucking away. And I know for a fact that the things that make me happy, the things that actually, keep me sane, on top of obviously the most important thing, which is my family, is being creative and actually sharing my thoughts and being with you guys, and, having a sense of cadence and moving forward. So this thing is absolutely one of the most important things that I have in my life. So if I lose it, I start to think about all of the things that I just mentioned before. I start to think about it heavily, and I start to stress out, and I start to be paralyzed in what I can do and what I cannot, because I think I'm overwhelmed, right? So here's the things that I normally do in order to actually overcome this sense of paralysis or being overwhelmed. It's a lot. So the very first thing that is actually most likely the most hardest thing for me, maybe for a lot of you as well, is to stay present. And staying present because I am a person that, because of my childhood, I think a lot about the past and I think a lot about the future. And the past fuels my future, mainly because I actually had so many hardships growing up. As an adult, as a young child, as a teenager, I actually had so many hardships that I'm afraid of going back there, to be broke, to be homeless, to be, without parents, without love. Those things make me afraid that I'll be able to, for some reason, like if I lose my jobs, if I lose my money, if I lose my contracts, if I lose anything, I'll go back to that place. So I think a lot about the past in that context, and then that fear is actually what fuels my future, knowing that I need to run away from that past as fast as I possibly can. So whenever I'm chilled, whenever I'm actually like in a good mood, when things are organized, when things are stable, I keep kind of like going back and forth between past and future all the time, which is something that I shouldn't do. My wife is absolutely brilliant at staying present, being present, and kind of like giving me advice on how to stay present. And in this situation, really, the only thing you can change is the present. Future and past either not happening or have happened. So there's no point in you thinking about both. So that is the number one challenge for me, and that is what I try to do as much as possible. And what I do for me to be present is meditate. Meditate every day, sometimes twice a day, in order to be present, so I can actually forget about what's coming and forget about what has happened for the most part. Now, something else that I like to do as well is basically focus on things that you can control, because there's so many things that I can do, so many things that I cannot control, so many things that are out of my hands right now when you are present, that there's only so many things that you can control, and there's only so many things that you can do in a 24-hour day. So I set myself goals for that day, and I actually set those goals incredibly hard to make sure that I actually feel fulfilled at the end of the day. and focus on those things and make those things. If I manage to do all those things, so like today, my goal was to shoot this video for YouTube. It was so hard for me to get out of my desk and make this video for you guys. But now after doing this video and when I'm finished, I'm gonna feel incredibly fulfilled, right? So that's the goal. Focus on what you can control, do it one at a time, and then eventually you start gathering that sense of confidence and calmness and actually being organized yet again, right? And then lastly, well, one of the last steps is basically making small steps. This is basically what I found out through my life, is that most people think about big steps straight away. How can I get from here to be a Hollywood star? How can I get from here to be an astronaut? And what's the shortest way that I can get there? Unfortunately, I found through my experience that there's no shortcuts to anything, and how you get there is by doing small steps one at a time. And that's what I've been doing for the last few years, for most of my life really. And knowing that small steps is able to get you there ends up being the thing that actually makes you more fulfilled at the end of the day, because it's a journey, right? You have to appreciate the journey, and that journey is filled with these small steps one at a time. So having small steps to actually have big gains is something else that I actually like to actually do on a constant basis. And then two last things: adaptation and tenacity. Adaptation is highly underrated when it comes to people that are actually either overachievers or, you know, very ambitious or anything like that, because you need to learn how to adapt and how to adapt quickly. And these changes that we just went through and have been going through, because we lived in Sweden, we lived in different parts here in the UK, we had to adapt every single time that we have to move. And the more times we do it, the faster we adapt. And then basically my wife and I are a bit of a, like, you know, super team, as we like to call ourselves. So we adapt as fast as we possibly can. We make friends with the neighbors. We actually start going out places so we can meet new people. And then eventually you feel like it's your home, right? And it's the same thing at work and professionally. You have to adapt to whatever is coming your way. So if you lose a client, you need to find more clients. How can you find new ways to actually get money? Once again, like I mentioned here before, that I'm doing an animation course. Part of the reason is basically so we can have another stream of income, fingers crossed. But the bigger part is that I'm having incredible fun making this course for you guys, because I think it's going to be incredibly fulfilling, and also it's going to be lots of knowledge for you guys to actually adhere to when it comes to mocap and working professionally and in games and things like that. So those two things, when they happen, when you can actually kind of like think outside the box, but at the same time you can start kind of like making a new source of income or a new thing that actually kind of like gives you benefits towards your future, it becomes really fulfilling, right? So adaptation, very important. And then lastly, the biggest compliment that anybody can give me is being tenacious, being like tenacity, having tenacity. And being tenacious about anything you do in life is what ultimately gets you to your goal. You can be smart, you can be wise, you can read books, you can be, you know, like a scholar, right? But if whatever you dream of, whatever goal you have, if it doesn't come with a tenacity to actually make it happen, whatever it takes, you will never get to the end goal, right? No matter how much you try to, you know, structure and think and plan, you need to have tenacity to kind of think of new ways to actually get to the end goal. And this is what I'm trying to do here as well. Like, what can I do that actually kind of gets me off of what I'm thinking about right now? Because, you know, I kind of feel like my mind goes around in circles a lot of the time. So how can I actually snap out of thinking about round in circles and thinking about a new way of doing things that is actually better for the future, right? And that becomes that tenacity, right? Thinking outside the box, making sure that you're not shy to kind of reach out to people and talking to people and ask questions and ask favors if necessary in order to make it happen. That is basically what I actually like to do in these situations. So that's basically what I do in order to overcome uncertainty. There's a lot of steps, lots of stuff. I'm not perfect. A lot of the times, most of the time, I actually end up not like missing a few of them, or if not all of them. And normally I feel really bad, and then I try to kind of stop beating myself for like missing it, especially of this situation between past and future and living in those two places, because it doesn't really allow you to enjoy the present very much. And I've been like, you know, one of the biggest people that I know that actually kind of like is so much pressed in future that never really appreciates what you have, like all the wins, all the things and that you do. Like whenever you get something big or you achieve something, instead of celebrating, I'm like, what's next? And that is definitely something that I'm working on towards becoming better, right? So hopefully this helps you a little bit. I know this video is a little bit on the longer side, but I hope this actually helps you with you getting to be, you know, a little bit more certain in where you're going, a little bit more certain in the things that you have, and also appreciative of the things that you're achieving on a daily basis, because that's another thing that I've been thinking about a lot, like how blessed I feel to have a family that I have, to achieve all the things that I have, and to have you guys watching my videos and finding this content interesting. Definitely let me know, comment below if you feel that you are right now in a moment of uncertainty, and also if any of these tips resonate with you in any way. And as always, stay well, stay safe. Peace.